My sister started telling people I stole from her before she ever said it to my face. I found out the same way I always did, through silence. Family dinners I wasn't invited to, group chats that suddenly went quiet when I typed, a cousin calling me just to check in but asking questions that felt rehearsed. Finally, my mom called and asked, carefully, "Did you take money from your sister?" I laughed at first. I thought it was a joke. Then she didn't laugh back. My sister had told them I'd drained money from a joint account we used to share, that I'd done it quietly, that she hadn't noticed until rent bounced, that she didn't want drama but people deserved to know the truth. The account was from years ago, back when we were close, back when she couldn't qualify for a lease and I co-signed everything. The account existed only to pay shared bills while we lived together. We closed it when I moved out, or at least I thought we did. I asked my sister why she thought I took anything. She said she didn't think, she knew. She said the withdrawals lined up with my schedule, that the timing made sense, that I'd always been weird about money. That one hurt, because I'd been the responsible one, the one who paid late fees when she forgot, the one who spotted her rent when she was short and said not to worry about it. I asked her for proof. She said she didn't owe me that. Within days, the story spread, quietly, efficiently. I was careful with my words, defensive, secretive, guilty sounding. I stopped explaining myself. Instead, I went to the bank. The teller was polite but firm. The account hadn't been closed. It had been converted, ownership changed, access restricted. I asked who authorized that. She slid a printed form across the counter. My sister's signature, dated 6 months after I moved out. She had removed my access and kept the account open. Then I asked about the withdrawals. The bank pulled up the history. ATM withdrawals, cash advances, online transfers, all from a branch near my sister's workplace, all during hours I was clocked in at my job. I asked for everything in writing. She printed it without comment. I didn't confront my sister right away, because by then she'd escalated. She filed a police report. I found out when an officer knocked on my door and asked if I'd like to make a statement. Sitting at my own kitchen table, being asked if I'd stolen from my own sister felt unreal. I handed him the documents from the bank. He skimmed them once, then more carefully. Then he looked up and said, "Ma'am, this clears you." But it didn't stop there, because my sister had already set the next stage, small claims court. She wanted the money back, plus fees, plus damages for emotional distress. I showed up alone. She arrived with a friend and a folder thick enough to look convincing. She cried when she spoke, told the judge she felt betrayed, said I'd always resented her, that money had finally shown my true character. I didn't interrupt. When it was my turn, I stood up and handed the clerk one envelope, bank records, signature forms, ATM location data, employment time cards. The judge looked through them slowly, then asked my sister one question. "Did you modify this account after your sister moved out?" She hesitated, then said, "No." The judge nodded and turned to the clerk. "Please contact the bank representative listed here." 10 minutes later, a speakerphone crackled to life. The bank confirmed everything. Account changes, access removal, withdrawal locations. The judge didn't look angry. She looked disappointed. She dismissed the case immediately. Then she leaned forward and said, "Filing false reports and pursuing claims based on misrepresentation has consequences." My sister didn't cry then. She just stared at the table. Outside the courtroom, she tried to explain, said she'd been stressed, that she didn't think it would go this far, that she assumed I'd just give in. I didn't respond, because the moment she accused me publicly, she stopped being my sister, and when the bank records spoke, they said everything I didn't need to anymore.